Eagle family, welcome back to another Eagle Inspiration Conversation. As this week I'm joined by men's basketball coach Preston Spradlin. And first off, Coach, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to finally have some outside conversations going throughout all this quarantine, and looking forward to giving fans an update on what's been going on with us and what kind of things we've been doing throughout all this just different situation that we're going through right now.
Yeah, Coach, one thing I've seen a lot of here recently is your team has stayed very active with one another, and your quarantine meetings. It looks to me you're having those once a week or twice a week as we've gone on.
Yeah, those have been really important. Just really trying to find any and every way that we can to just keep the guys connected. We're very fortunate that when they are on campus with each other, they live together in Andrews Hall. Obviously, they're with each other a number of times throughout the day, whether it's team breakfast or hanging out at lunch or coming to the gym for practice and all those different things. So we're just trying to find any way that we can to just keep them together. So we've done a number of different things. The quarantine meetings have been pretty good. Just doing one of those a week, and I've kind of been giving the guys different assignments, just to just challenge them to just figure out ways that we can get better. And we're very limited in ways that we can get better in terms of basketball players right now. And so just challenge them to get better as sons, as teammates, as friends, and in their relationships and different things like that. And so we've had a couple different text challenges that we've done with the guys. Our very first team meeting, I challenged all the guys to, once our meeting was over, that they needed to text me 3 names of people that they were going to send a heartfelt gratitude text to. And needed to be someone that they hadn't talked to in a while, or someone that they were not able to see right now throughout the quarantine and different things like that. And so then we'd come back the next week, and we'd have each guy get on there and talk about those and kind of just share it. And we talk about the importance of doing that. And then, we kind of parlayed that into some encouragement text, and just trying to get the guys to just continue to spread positivity and just be intentional about reaching out to people. I think, prior to the quarantine, we're all so busy with our day-to-day lives, and student athletes are no exception. They're very busy with the time demands of their academics, their athletics, their health, their fitness, all of those things. And so their social life and their family life, the time that they have allotted for that is very small. And so now they have plenty of time. And so we want to make sure that those guys are really being intentional about reaching out to people and just trying to spread positivity, because everybody could use some right now, no matter what walk of life that you're going through. It's whether you're a basketball player, you're a basketball coach, you work in media relations, you're a teacher, you're a nurse, everybody's going through the same things right now. And so any bit of encouragement that we can pass along and give to other people is very important. So just trying to make sure that our guys are being intentional about doing those things.
Oh, Coach, I really love that. And I've noticed, especially through this Eagle Inspiration initiative, your guys have been very a big part of that, and even yourself as well.
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure that, again, people are just staying positive. And I think, my wife does a phenomenal job with social media, and she does an unbelievable job here at home with our kids, and making sure that they're having a good experience through all of this, and that we're able to share those things with other people that, we're not necessarily being able to get out in the community like we normally do. That's a big thing that we always do. We're always out at, different games, whether it's, volleyball or football, or, this time of year we'd be at softball and baseball games regularly. We'd be at our sons' games. And so we're really missing a lot of time in the community right now. So just trying to, make sure that people are seeing us in the community, because that's important to us, and that they're seeing that, we're making the most of this opportunity as well. And, I mentioned my kids there. My wife brought up a great point when all of this first began. There was a lot of scary stuff, and schools being canceled for an X amount of time. My son, he's 7, he's very active and playing basketball and baseball, and has a lot of friends. And so a lot of question marks as to when, he would be able to do those things. And so she brought up a great point, and I've been intentional about sharing it with our team and with really anyone that I talk to. Is, kids are really going to learn adversity. They're going to learn how to handle adversity throughout this experience, because obviously nobody has gone through anything like this within our lifetime, so it's new for everybody. But at the end of the day, our kids, they don't hit the pause button on making memories. And so we've got to make sure that this is a fun experience for them. And so we try to really make sure we're just doing things that are fun for them, and being mindful that, they don't have kids to play with right now. My son, he hasn't played with another kid that other than his little sister in 42 days. And so it's very difficult. That's a hard thing when you go from being very social. Us as adults or young adults and college students, we have social media, we have technology, we have all these things that can help supplement those outlets. But for the little ones, they don't have that. And so I think it's really important. And so we've stressed that to our players. We've stressed that to recruits, that if they have younger siblings in the household, if they have cousins that they have contact with, just be mindful of that, and try to be very intentional about having fun with them, and making this a great experience, because they're building memories and they're learning right now throughout this, and they're learning and building those memories with us. And so we just have to know the impact that we can have with the little ones throughout all this.
No, I really like that you mentioned that, because that kind of goes back to a conversation I had with Sarah Martin a couple weeks ago with some of these activities. And she had mentioned sports-specific activities a part of this challenge going to the younger group. What are some kind of sports-specific to basketball things that you've kind of shared as a part of that initiative, or even with your children and with your team?
With our team, everybody's access is really limited right now. And so the positive part of that is we've told everybody that, hey, it's a level playing field. Whether you're in the NBA, you're in junior college, you're in high school, or you're a Division I athlete, everyone pretty much has the same access. Some guys have a little bit more gym access, or an outdoor hoop, or a driveway, but for the most part, everybody's got the same access. And so we talk about as a team that our only goal is to get better, and we can't wait until this quarantine and this situation is over to start doing that. We have to find ways, we have to be creative. And when the dust settles and we are able to get back to normal life, and, get our players back on campus, get back into school and all those types of things, you're going to be exposed as to whether you found out ways to get better, and you were creative and how badly you wanted to do it, or did you just wait and until it became convenient again? And so, one thing we're really stressing to our guys is ball handling. That's something that you don't need. You need a basketball, maybe two of them. You need a driveway. You need a living room. And it's something that you can be doing all the time. It's something that I do with my son a lot. He dribbles throughout the house. If the weather's nice, we go outside and play and all those types of things. And so, from a coaching standpoint, Coach Lombardi's done a great job. He works with all of our guards, but, he'll go to the gym and he'll film, dribbling workouts that he otherwise normally would do with the guys this time of year, in individual workouts, and just send it to them. We don't make it a mandatory thing or anything like that, but we just want to make sure that the guys are staying fresh with his voice and our terminology, and they've got the fresh ideas of things that we otherwise would be doing with them if they were on campus right now. So, that's some of the stuff that we're able to do right now, is that I think everybody has the same access to. But again, it's just it's about being creative. You have to find ways to push yourself and to get better. And, the big thing we talked about with our team is this is a big self-discipline and self-motivation time. You don't have a normal, you don't have weights at 7 a.m. You don't have mandatory team breakfast. You don't have class from, 8 to 11 or whatever that may be. So your time is not as structured. And so you really have to tap into your self-discipline. And it's very important that you keep a routine and that you make sure that you stick to those things. And so we've put in some things with our guys, daily academic calls, or Zoom meetings rather, that, the expectation is they're up, they're ready, they have their materials, they have their work done, whatever that may be. And so our coaches can be checking on them and making sure, and a number of just, regular phone conversations that don't have anything to do with basketball, because we are missing a lot of valuable time off the court with these guys as well that would normally be face-to-face time. And so just trying to supplement that as well.
No, and from everything I've seen through social media and just being around the building with you guys, is you guys have really utilized technology as a way to help your team get better, and even outside of basketball. And I really kind of enjoy seeing that, because it gives me an opportunity to kind of think about how I could utilize some of that in everyday life. And you have any other kind of tips along that line for either coaches, players, or, upcoming coaches and players?
Something that we normally wouldn't do much of this season is watching film, breaking down film. We would spend a lot of time on the court and things like that. So obviously we don't have that. But for me as a coach, I've never had this much time to sit down uninterrupted and really carve out and dive in and watch our season. And so I've watched our season, from game 1 all the way through game 32, and been able to analyze stats and notes, and really just go back and take a look at all those things. And so keeping a running log of adjustments and thoughts and ideas and evaluations and all those types of things that I just really haven't had enough time to do since I've been a head coach. And so for me, that's been really nice. And it made me think, much of the same thing for our players. Normally they don't have time to go back and watch themselves. And I think when you are watching film, you're gonna pay a lot more attention. You're gonna be a little more invested if you're watching yourself. And so we've sent our guys. 1 week we gave them basketball homework where we said, okay, we're gonna send you all of your shots from the season. And I would just give them a couple things to say, hey, take a look to see, where you're getting yourself ready to shoot. Were you taking rushed perimeter shots, or were you taking off balance contested interior shots? Because those are two things we talk about we want to avoid. And so we'd send it to the guys, and then we'd just call them and have a conversation. What'd you think after you're watching yourself? And what are some things you think you need to work on? And even challenging them to think outside the box and asking them questions like, hey, if we need one basket to win the game, and I'm going to call your number to do it, what's the ideal shot for you that you've got confidence in? Because I think that self-identity is really important. And so this is a great time for self-reflection to figure all those things out. And so we've kind of advanced that to, this week we sent them all their assists and turnovers from the year. And it's really it's intriguing, because you call a guy just to check on him and you say, hey, what have you been up to? And he'll say, Coach, I watched all my shots. I watched them 3 times. And so they're watching film, and we're not necessarily breaking it down for them, but it's just good for them to see those types of things. We've even had guys that say, hey, Coach, send me my worst 5 games. Whichever 5 games you felt like I wasn't playing my best, send them to me, and I'm going to watch them. And so it's opened up the door for some self-evaluation time and some reflection. And I think all those things are just going to help our guys mentally once we do get a chance to get back on the court with one another.
Oh, no, that's definitely some really good advice you've given there, to kind of change it up and move away from basketball. I've noticed that you and your family have started a Takeout Tuesday kind of little initiative. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we love to eat out and get out in the community, like I said, and we normally like to go out to eat and things like that. That's a big part of our normal routine, and so we're trying to keep that as normal as we can. And then obviously we have so many wonderful local businesses here in our community that they still need to function, they still need to survive, and so we just want to make sure that they know that we're being intentional about making sure that we're going out to eat and trying to hashtag and brand that a little bit. And so we're big on Taco Tuesday at our house, just like LeBron is. So we do that a lot, and hitting up the Mexican restaurants and all those types of things. But I just think it's really important right now. This is something that it affects everybody. There's no one in the country, there's no one in the world at the moment that this isn't affecting. And so any way that you can pay it forward to people, whether it's simply going out to eat and supporting local businesses, or whatever that may be. I think all those things, they add up and they're very important. And any time that we can continue to just flood social media with positivity and examples of how we're working for each other, and that we're all staying together as a team and as a unit, and that we're all in this together, I think is really going to help everybody, because this is a trying time for everyone, like I said, and the more unity that we can show, the better off we're going to be.
Then lastly, Coach, any last piece of advice you have for anybody out there, whether it be a student athlete, a student in need, or anything like that?
You know, the first message I had to our team when we did our first quarantine meeting, was very similar to one that I would have had, had we been back on campus. I'm always harping on to our guys about just the importance of time. To me, time is your most valuable asset. It's more valuable than money. And when you're a normal student athlete and you have a scheduled day with classes and workouts and times you have to eat and all these different things, your free time is very small. You got to think, our guys, they have a full day. They probably have 2 hours maybe that they're not studying, they're not in class, they're not working out, they're not preparing to work out, they're not sleeping, or whatever those things may be. So they have very limited window of time that is just theirs. And it's so easy for all of us to just come up with a built-in excuse as to why we're not getting better, we're not challenging ourselves, because we just don't have that much free time. And so we always just talk about the three things you can do with your time. You can waste it, you can spend it, or you can invest it. And obviously, you want to make sure that you're investing your time so that you get a return on that investment. And so, I just, sometimes when you talk dollars and cents, it means a little more to people. So I told our guys, I said, if time is our most valuable asset, then we've just hit the time lottery, because we have all the time in the world. All the excuses that we said before, that I don't have time to read that book, I don't have time to get in the Word, I don't have time to eat right because I'm traveling so much, or whatever it may be. I think now it's forced us to really look at ourselves and say, wow, I don't have those built-in excuses anymore. And, like I said, the dust is going to settle, and life is going to get back to normal at some point. And I just think that, we're going to take this situation, and are we going to be better for it? That's got to be the thing. You got to challenge yourself, and you got to ask yourself those questions. Is when the coronavirus crisis is over and we get back to normal life, daily jobs and classes and routines and all those things, am I going to be in a better place than I was before? And that's a personal thing right now, because everyone has the same access. And there's no excuses. And so we just challenge our guys to think in that way all the time. And I would just challenge everyone to think in that way, because this is a wonderful time to learn. It's a wonderful time to grow spiritually. It's a wonderful time to invest in your relationships and get to know people on a personal level without there being any type of transaction happening between you. And so those are areas that I think as a society we need to get better anyway. And this has just afforded us the opportunity to slow down a little bit and to do that. And so I'm challenging our team that we can be better in those areas when this quarantine is over with.
Well, Coach, that was a great way to to bookend this. And I want to thank you for your time this afternoon, and thank you for joining this Eagle Inspiration conversation.
Well, Ryan, I appreciate it. It's great to connect with our fans. We certainly miss all of them. We miss our fans, our community members, our students, our sponsors, all the people who make Morehead State the special place that it is. We've got so many great things on campus. We've got great academic programs. We have a beautiful campus. We got great facilities. We have all the things that we need to be successful. But what puts us over the top is our people, without question, and the investment that they have into student success. And so for me, that's the part that I'm missing so much right now, is that connection with all the wonderful people that make Morehead State the great place that it is. And so I'm more excited to connect with those people here today. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to getting back on campus, getting back to a normal life, and seeing how everybody has made improvements, and that we can get back to serving our students and serving our region with our mission here at Morehead State.
Well said, Coach. Well said.